bell, and they are off for the last day of play. It went by very fast. Ray up against Fabi in blitz. We're going to focus on this one, and in case some action takes us elsewhere, we'll go there as well. Bishop takes f6. Nobody goes for the more dangerous bishop h.
People
Four
don't
lines
bishop
again.
h4 anymore.
Yeah. And
It just seems like it gives black too many options.
yeah. And
This
queen,
one is a bit more controlled.
yeah, queen b3 is an old favorite of putting the question to the bishop, as well as eyeballing that pawn on d5.
Bishop takes c3.
c7, c5 is a pawn sacrifice. Bishop takes c3. Now, the classics all tell you capture towards the center. And the reason they like to play b2 takes c3 is so that when you follow it up with c takes d5, you could play c3, c4, get a majority in the center. Today,
The
modern approach is actually to recapture with the queen, putting immediate pressure on the c7 pawn, and we saw c7, c6 played very quickly. g2, g3.
Oh, I was thinking maybe e3 it's going to be played. So g3 instead.
If you like the Catalan, why not say, I've got the better bishop. Your bishop on c8 is not as active as mine. Knight d7, castles, and b7, b6, queen e7. Still, we're in the throes of theory. You were saying, Christian, that it's a more controlled game.
It is a more controlled game for white, right?
Right.
Taking on f6 and having this very slight advantage due to your, let's say, opening advantage, but also space advantage in the center.
Right. d5 takes c4 is a prelude.
Black has to strike with either c5 or e5, most likely with e5 in
Yeah.
this case.
So
You want to develop the light square bishop.
precisely, queen takes c4, e5, in order to develop the light square bishop. Now here we take a pause, because in some ways I am not afraid of the move e4, but I would like to encourage captures on d4. So for me, I would find myself drawn to this move, queen c3, anticipating that after captures, I haven't committed my pawn to e4 and I kept the diagonal open. In fact, what Ray did is he played rook to d1. Oops, sorry. Second, queen takes c4, e5, rook to d1, knight to b6. Okay, gaining a tempo against the queen
Now where
on
to go
c4.
with the queen? Because we don't want the queen to be attacked on black's next move after black is gonna develop the light square bishop.
Aggression.
Probably queen c2 is met with bishop f5.
Right. We have to be aggressive. Queen to c5. Now the question is, for me, if you take on d4, would you take with the rook? Would you take with the knight?
With the rook.
With the
I
rook.
prefer the rook there.
He hasn't played it. He played queen d3.
Queen to d3. Okay, that's a bit of a surprise move. Why is the queen good on d3? Not sure. So I like your taking with the rook, but
Take
here,
d4, yeah, that's on the board. Queen takes d4.
right? Now here's a pause, because in truth, I'm not that worried about the double pawns, and the move bishop e6 I might find attractive.
Queen e7.
Queen e7, okay. Attacking the pawn on e2. Your knee-jerk thought, Kate, has white come out of this with an advantage or not? There's an imbalance. 4 versus 3, 2 versus...
Should be extremely equal.
Extremely equal?
Extremely equal.
It feels like it's equal, yeah.
Would you prefer one position? If you had to play the position, would you prefer to play the black side or the... I don't like queen e5. What
Now
was that?
what is happening after rook e8? Yeah, there's a pin on that pawn.
Well, Ray is saying...
Wait a minute. I can take that.
Can you take it?
Yes, I do.
Because
Yes,
there's...
I will.
Check.
I
That knight
hide
on
the king.
b6 protects my rook on a8. I should be fine. Rook takes e2. I think this is a miss by Ray.
I'm not so sure. Just a second. I'm going to give it a check.
King h7.
Yes.
On the board. Knight to d4. I have got a bishop f...
But I have
Fine.
bishop e6. I can just...
Okay, knight d4 attacks the rook.
Oh, knight d4.
Rook takes b2, in for a penny, in for a pound.
I think I'm going to go rook d2. No, rook d2 you take on c6. I don't want that. Ray has 13 seconds against 2 minutes for Fabi.
It's just a pawn blunder.
Yes.
I mean, if you have to play a4 after
Look at the shake
And
of
we
hand.
see Ray Robson
Yeah.
shaking his head. No,
Right.
that was not planned.
Rook takes b2. Boy, now I like this. This is
A5, I
greed
think
is,
he wants to go bishop e6.
or bishop to g4. Yeah, greed, man's noblest emotion. Rook takes b2, a5, bishop e6. Your pick, because as you were pointing out, the knight on b6 defends. the
5
rook.
seconds for Ray.
And you've got to play
That's
a6.
2 extra pawns.
And
That's
they're
a lot.
They're very good.
That is
I'd start with bishop to d5. The one.
Oh my goodness, but Ray is like really feeling this one. He's really upset about what just happened.
Well,
Look
he
at the
went
shake
from
of
the
hand.
opening to the ending, 2 pawns down.
He never got into the game.
I think he just missed rook e8 move, right?
Yeah, when he
Hitting
played
the knight.
queen e5.
Yeah.
I thought he had to play f4, by the way. We could return to that later. But in the meantime, this is the current position. Fabi, our tournament leader, has just been gifted 2 extra pawns.
There's still some technical
And
tasks.
he has played bishop to
Still
d5
with,
as expected.
And we know Ray plays very accurately when he's low on time. Remember yesterday making the best moves when having 2 seconds on the clock.
Exactly.
Material is still limited, so you do have to be careful as black not to blunder both of your pawns. For example, if you take on g2, take on g2 f6, then I think you can take on
b7 and take on
on without
c6.
take on c6. 95 is a good. 95
Yeah,
is a very good.
I think it's, well, I don't know. I think it's time to play knight c7 and just say, okay, take the pawn on b7, recapture. You can take the pawn on c6.
I want to take that one.
He's taken on g2 first. I'm not exactly sure. Did Fabi? Bishop takes g2.
He wants to go for c5 now.
And he's done it. He's giving Ray a choice. Captures this pawn on f7, or go after the c5 pawn.
Well,
Capture
maybe I
it
can
on f7.
connect my pawns, go b5.
That was my question.
Push both of them. Yeah,
He's
he
done
goes
it.
for it. Ray's gunning for that a7 pawn. That's his only hope. Knight to c6, knight takes a7. Has to be played.
It looks like Black doesn't need a knight that's in the corner.
Ooh, he almost lost on time. Ooh, knight b6. Why didn't he play knight b6? That's it. That's game.
That's going to be
to d1. Yeah. And then you just take the a6 pawn. Rook a3. Yeah.
a3 is a very, very good move. Knight to a6, cover everything. Rook takes a6.
By the way, Wesley saw one
And
against
suddenly,
Vladimir Dominguez.
the floodgates opened up in the blitz as we expect a decisive result here from our tournament leader, but Wesley So.
Nice f5 is coming. Ooh, king to g6.
If ever there was a good time to play h5, that was it, by the way. Not that he's not winning. He is. Bobby's really got this game nicely in hand, but normally speaking, you want to keep the pawns on the board there. h5. But this is too good. Check. Oh, they're trying now. King. Oh. That's being greedy.
He's wanting with that king to go and capture the pawn on f4.
Yeah, king h5 to g4.
Hikaru
Oh
seems
my
to be winning
goodness.
this game as well. g6,
Well,
that's clinical right there.
This last round sure started with a bang. Ray can't decide when he's supposed to resign this game. He's been wanting to resign. It seemed he wanted to resign the game 20 moves ago.
Absolutely.
Do we have a game remaining?
Yes, Hikaru Nakamura just ended.
Oh.
Hikaru Nakamura just
So
won.
we